That's your Mongolian girlfriend's name. But how do I say this? So long ago. So long ago, and you met her so long ago. Have a look. Let me tell you, I am more amazed than them that I managed to get this. But Daryl, thank you so much for that. Thank you. Please give Daryl a nice round of applause. Thank you. Thank you, Daryl. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another episode of Nique Tan Chats, my magic and mostly mentalism review show. My name is Nique Tan, and on today's episode I'll be chatting with you guys about Into the Fifth Dimension, released by Patrick Redford. So in the opening of this video, you would have seen a short excerpt of one of my stage shows, and in that clip you would have seen the envelope test that I perform in action. On top of allowing me the little bit of reminiscence, about the old times of live stage shows, I think it also ties in nicely to today's product. So in today's episode, we'll be talking about something called Into the Fifth Dimension. Alright, now I didn't know about this product previously. In fact, it totally went under the radar. I had no idea that it was even released. And the person who brought it to my attention was actually a viewer, alright, on this channel, Graham Salisbury, I think, who commented on a previous video about whether I had checked out this particular product. So I was curious, I went to look it up, I bought it, and so here I am chatting about it with you guys. So what is Into the Fifth Dimension? Alright, well, this is actually Patrick Redford's handling of Eneman's fourth dimensional telepathy, alright, also known as 4DT or the 3-envelope test. I strongly suspect that this particular routine, fourth dimensional telepathy, is a staple, alright, in many professional mentalists' repertoire all over the world. And over the years, ever since the Eneman original, there have been, various performers who have published their own variations on the original routine. The most notable, of course, comes from the late Bob Cassidy, okay, and I believe many would agree that Bob Cassidy's handling is kind of like the standard by which, all other variations come from. So if you are familiar with Bob Cassidy's handling of fourth dimensional telepathy, I think the effect won't be new to you, okay? But I will, at this point in time, describe to you in some detail, alright, what happens in Patrick Redford's handling. I will try to give you as much detail as I can, alright? And along the way, I'll try to highlight the main differences in Patrick's handling versus the original Bob Cassidy handling. However, also in the interest of protecting Patrick's method, alright, I will be leaving out certain little details here and there, but I think this should give you a pretty fair and objective idea about what goes on during the performance. So to begin the routine, you choose a spectator from the audience and you tell them to think of the name of a pet that they had when they were young. A billet is given to them along with a pencil and they are asked to fill in the card. You now turn to a second spectator and tell the spectator to think of the name of their first crush, right? Their first love. A billet is also handed to them along with a pencil, and they also begin to fill in the card. At this point in time, you immediately turn to a third spectator, alright, and you tell them to make a simple drawing, okay? Get a simple picture in their mind, something that they can draw. You hand them a billet as well along with a pencil, and they start drawing the picture on the card as well, alright? So, all three spectators fill in their cards at the same time. Once all three cards are filled in, alright, the three cards are then sealed into three envelopes, okay, three opaque envelopes, and at this point in time, the three spectators are invited to write their initials on the flap of the envelope, okay, thereby identifying their envelope. Okay, so in this version, they can write their initials on their own envelope. Once that's done, all three envelopes are taken back, alright, and now from here, on the face of the envelope, okay, on the address side of the envelope, you now write in, Sharpie, okay, very clearly 1, 2, and 3, okay, thereby again, clearly identifying each of the three envelopes. The three spectators can watch you really closely, the numbering can be done quite openly, and there will not be any discrepant kind of numbering involved. The three envelopes are now isolated in a wine glass set on a table, and the performance of the effect begins. Working with the first spectator, alright, you first work out the name of the pet, and along the way, you will also be able to verbally reveal other bits of information as well. Okay, now I won't be telling you about that, okay, because those things kind of form part of the routining, okay, that Patrick teaches. So once you're done with the first spectator and you have revealed the name of their pet, they are dismissed. You now pick up envelope number 1, okay, clearly you're seen to pick up envelope number 1, and from here, the envelope is destroyed and discarded in your pocket, okay. The envelope is not opened. Immediately, you call attention to the second spectator, and now you can work with the second spectator. You can reveal the name of their first love. Again, along the way, you will be revealing extra information as well, you know, almost like Q&A style, all right? All these reveals are done verbally. Once you're done with them, you have revealed the name of the crush, they sit down, they are dismissed. You remove envelope number 2 now, and again, you're clearly seen to destroy it and discard it in your pocket. The envelope is not opened. Remaining in the wine glass is envelope number 3, and from this point you can work with the third spectator. You can hand him a pad, you take a pad yourself, and both of you will do the classic drawing duplication style reveal. Along the way, you can again reveal bits of extra information about the spectator. Both drawings at the end are shown to match, and the routine ends right there. So personally for me, I love fourth dimensional telepathy, all right, the 3 envelope test. I really love it a lot. You know, it's been a routine that has been really good to me over the years. And when I first started performing it on stage, initially I kind of staged it in such a way that I had 3 people on stage with me, sat in 3 chairs. I felt that that gave it a more intimate kind of a feel to the routine, and it also kind of allowed the whole audience to kind of watch the routine in a more focused way. And then over the years, as my performing style kind of evolved slightly, I think, and you know, the pace at which I perform got a little bit faster, I kind of condensed it down to just doing a 2 envelope test on stage with 2 spectators, one to my left and one to my right. I kind of took out what I thought were the best parts of the 3 envelope test, and I just you know, performed it with just 2 envelopes and 2 spectators. And then in recent times, you know, with my growing interest in performing routines with psychometry, kind of a presentational style, I have kind of upped the number of envelopes again, back up to 4 envelopes this time. Okay, so I have now 4 spectators in chairs on stage with me, and I perform the routine currently this way. I started performing Bob Cassidy's Handling sometime in 2012, all right? So it's been about 10 years, all right, up to this point. And when I tried it out, you know, in a live situation, a couple of things immediately became, you know, kind of obvious to me, okay? First of all, the method, you know, there was a kind of a part where there was a bit of uncertainty involved. I couldn't always get it to work, okay? I think some of you who use Bob Cassidy's Handling as well, you will know what I'm talking about. So that part was a bit fiddly for me, and I've changed that completely. Next, audience management, okay? Because, you know, as with most of us who perform a routine, you know, first learning it from the original creator themselves, we would first of all try to just copy their performance, you know, copy their routining, copy their staging of the effect as well. So in the number of videos that are available, you know, of Bob Cassidy performing 4DT, he would perform it with spectators who are sat in the audience, okay? So when I first performed the routine, I tried it that way. Immediately there were some problems, okay? First of all, I would have the spectators stand, you know, you would tell them to think of whatever you want them to think of, and then I would have to go down to give them a billet and give them a pencil, and then come back up, address a second spectator, go back down again, give them the billet, give them the pencil, come back up on stage again, and then I would go down again to distribute the envelopes, you know, come back up again, tell the third spectator to do that. So there was a lot of up and down on my part, and I felt during those times I lost control over the whole audience, because there were many times that they were just looking at an empty stage and there was nothing interesting happening, so they went back to their food and their drink. And then when it came time to do the reveals, I did it with the audience members stood up in the audience, okay, almost like Q&A style, right? They just stand where they are, and I felt that the impact of the routine didn't really hit as hard. Because, you know, most of mentalism is not visual, okay? A lot of the impact comes from the spectator's reaction to your mind reading, right? And with a spectator stood up in the audience, there was no way for the whole audience to see that happening. Okay, so even if that person was reacting really strongly, the audience couldn't see. Okay, they didn't know, and so, you know, there was no kind of impact during the reveals. So it was a strong effect, you know, strong method, but the staging was just really weak for me, okay? I couldn't get it to work like that. So I solved that problem, okay, by just having the 3 spectators on stage right from the beginning, okay? So I had 3 chairs on stage, 3 of them would be, you know, set in the chairs, and I would attend to each of them individually during the routine. I think this gave it a more kind of intimate feel, and I performed it almost as though I was only performing for them and I was kind of like ignoring the whole audience. But I found that as I did that, it kind of like made people interested to pay attention more. You know how it is when we see something interesting happening in public, people are just kind of naturally interested in something that they weren't directly involved with. Okay, it's a very strange thing, but I found that that kind of a staging worked for me a lot better. And also because the spectators are on stage with me, when they reacted really strongly, okay, to the effect, the audience also reacted along, because now they can see the reaction that, you know, the spectator has, and they are kind of reacting to that person reacting. Okay, if that made sense. So the staging of that solved my issues with Bob Cassidy's original staging. Method-wise, you know, I have my own handling for 4DT right now. It's not, you know, worthy of publishing, I think. You know, it's kind of like a mixture between Mark Paul and Scott Creasy. If Mark Paul and Scott Creasy had a baby, it would be my routine, okay? I could call it Mark Creasy, I suppose, or Scott Paul. Yeah, maybe Scott Paul. But enough of my rambling, okay? I know that I tend to, you know, start talking in various directions and different tangents and stuff, and sometimes I'm all over the place, okay? But let's get back down to talking about today's topic at hand. So what do you get when you purchase Into the Fifth Dimension? Okay, so it's $60 US. Okay, $60 US, and it's available from Patrick's website. It's a PDF, you know, and it comes like 60 over pages, I think 65 pages. And in the PDF, Patrick will take you through the whole method, okay, the whole handling. He'll take you through in detail how to prepare the props that you need. He'll walk you through the whole routine, and also he'll give you, in quite a lot of detail again, all right, his scripting that he uses when he performs the effect. On top of the basic routine, Patrick will also give you variations that you can perform. At the end of the PDF, there's also a kind of a bonus routine, I suppose, something that he calls three-way telepathy. Okay, again, a triple mind reading routine done with just 3 billets. Along with the PDF, you will also be given access to a whole bunch of instructional videos. Okay, now on the videos, you know, Patrick will take you through the whole routine again. Okay, everything that is covered in the PDF, and there is also a performance clip of the routine. Okay, so you can watch Patrick himself performing the full routine, and you can get an idea of how the whole routine flows in actual performance. This section I found really useful, okay, in helping me to kind of understand and learn the routine. So I think the biggest question that all of you out there are asking, okay, if you're watching this video, if you're interested in fourth dimensional telepathy, if you already perform it in your own show, the question that you're asking yourself is, do I need this? So unfortunately, that's not a question that I can answer for you, okay? But personally for me, I picked this up because, you know, I'm interested in this effect, okay? I love fourth dimensional telepathy, but I think for this particular release, okay, this particular PDF, you will benefit from it the most if you already do or know Bob Cassidy's handling of the effect. Okay, you need to know that handling to appreciate the work and the differences that Patrick has put into this particular handling. Alright, so let me just again briefly talk about the 3 points, okay, the 3 main points that make this particular handling different from anything else that is out there. So point number 1 is this, alright, at no point in the routine are any of the envelopes opened up. Okay, so there's no like, you know, opening of envelopes and removing the cards and just checking, you know, verifying how accurate you were, you know, before showing your pad of paper. Nothing like that, okay? Once you're done with the individual envelope, it is clearly removed, it is destroyed, and it is immediately discarded in your side jacket pocket. However, what needs to get done still has to get done, all right, from a method standpoint, okay? But I think Patrick has approached it slightly differently, okay? And he has made the work look different. Okay, so the work is still happening, it's just that he makes it look different than how it's normally done. Alright, the second point is, in Cassidy's handling, okay, you will know that the third spectator has to kind of start filling in their card after you're done with the first 2. But in this particular handling, okay, what Patrick has done is he has enabled you to get all 3 billets filled in at the same time. Okay, so this is like kind of a streamlined handling, which of course will, you know, speed things up a little bit and make things, you know, run a little bit smoother without having, you know, an interruption in between, you know, before you approach a third spectator and have them make their drawing. So the third point is this, okay, so in the Bob Cassidy handling, okay, you will know that there is some arts and crafts involved, okay, to create a set of props that is like a one-time use kind of a thing. So what Patrick has done here, alright, is that he has designed a set of props to use to perform the routine that doesn't require you to remake it again and again every single time you wish to perform the effect. Other points to consider in this routine, okay, now while you are seen to be revealing extra bits of information, you know, almost like Q&A style, there is no PS work. There are no electronics involved. There's no like imp work involved as well. Reset again is really simple to reset, and also as opposed to the original Cassidy handling, you don't need to kind of reserve one side jacket pocket just for the routine. Okay, if you know the handling, you will know exactly what I mean. The set of props that Patrick has designed for the routine is actually self-contained. Okay, so it works like by itself. You don't need another pocket to work the method. Other points to consider as well, as I mentioned earlier in the performance, each of the spectators can actually initial their own envelope. So that is something that I've not seen before, I think. I don't think I've seen before, okay, so that's quite interesting. Also, in the numbering of the envelopes, as opposed to the original Cassidy handling where it's kind of like done, you know, a bit quietly, you know, at the side by yourself, Patrick makes like a big deal out of this, okay, about how fair everything is. So each of the envelopes are clearly numbered 1, 2, and 3. And again, the spectators can watch you really carefully, okay, and no discrepant numbering will be seen. So, you know, all in all, you know, I really enjoyed going through the PDF. However, I mean, I will still be sticking to my own handling of 4DT. However, Patrick has definitely pushed the routine in the direction that he wanted to, okay? And what I mean by that is, you know, each of us have kind of like our own kind of conditions, all right, that we wish to perform a particular effect with. Certain considerations might be important for you, but they might not be important for me. So in this case, for Patrick, you know, it's important for him that the envelopes are not opened at all during the course of the routine, all right? So that condition is important for him, but maybe for myself, you know, it's not something that I see as a problem. So, you know, each of us will have like kind of like our own considerations and our own kind of conditions that we feel are important for us to perform the routine. And I've mentioned it before, right, in previous reviews, is that I really enjoy seeing and reading and learning about how each individual mentalist, each performer lays out, you know, what conditions are important to them, and just, you know, learn about how they go about achieving their vision for how the routine should be performed. So if you're still undecided, right, about whether this is for you or not, okay, my advice to you is this. Watch this review, and then also please do head over to Patrick's website and read the ad copy for this particular effect. And if you agree with all the points that Patrick has addressed and all the changes that Patrick has made for the routine, if it brings you closer to your vision, your own vision about how this routine should be performed, then I can recommend you pick this up, okay? Because I think Patrick has, in fact, solved all those issues that he has discussed in the ad copy. So if you'd like to pick up a copy of Into the Fifth Dimension for yourself, I will leave the link in the box right below. Again, I bought this with my own money. Patrick didn't send this to me, he didn't tell me to do a review for him. I just found this really interesting and I thought I would just chat about it with you guys here on the show. So once again guys, thank you so much for watching today's episode. I do hope you enjoyed yourselves, you've picked up something from it. If you are new to the channel, please do check out my other videos as well, the rest of my content. And if you enjoy the videos that I put out, if you get value from my content, please do hit the subscribe button, okay? Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button as well so you'll be notified every single time I upload a new video on YouTube. Your support really means a lot to me and it really helps me and motivate me to continue to try and put out videos and continue to try and grow this channel on YouTube. So that's all I have for you guys. Do take care of yourselves, stay safe, enjoy your magic and your mentalism, and I will see you on a future episode of Nique Tan Chats.